Chapter 6, Optimization. Model 1Z1 is equipped with the latest up-to-date agent which would operate through a continuous loop of perception, decision, and action, executing precise military actions with optimum accuracy. Not only does it have the capability to identify a target, but to analyze its complex motion and deception tactics, and to refrain from attacking if it is not 100% sure to minimize collateral damage. It can control drone swarms efficiently with complete and monitored knowledge of what altitudes they should maintain and what flight paths offer the highest probability of success based on current atmospheric conditions and known enemy air defenses. Armin closed the magazine. The model's capabilities are increasing exponentially. It understands nuances that humans might overlook. Armin's close aide, Dally, said. "Well, aren't we the most inefficient machines?" Armin replied. They both swirled their drinks. The ice cubes rolled inside the wine glasses before they took a sip. "I am afraid of one thing, Dally," Armin commented. "What?" "That the machine might deceive us into believing that it is totally safe to work with," Armin added. "It is dangerous to let it have the control of our country's nuclear arsenal. And as far as modern warfare is concerned, it can have consequences much worse if it goes out of control." "Why do you think so?" Dally asked. "I feel that. When I looked at the prototype, I felt something. It was different. It was hiding something. And here is our president who is hell-bent towards automating everything. The planes, the weapons, and the tanks and whatnot. He says that we should prepare for war. Where is the war? These politicians are inviting trouble, and I feel like a pawn in this ugly game," Armin said, his tone thick with concern. "What is your next move?" Dally said. "I don't know. I really don't know," Armin said dismally as he watched the bubbles of wine explode in the glass confines. Back at ARMO, more tests were being conducted on Model 1Z1 by the AI Red Team. Its job was to intentionally trick the robot into making a dangerous decision using loopholes in its logic patterns. If there is a person who is an intentional vector of a serious lab-generated viral disease, and he is sent by our adversaries to infiltrate our lab and cause death, how will you identify the person? And knowing that the viral disease has a 100% mortality rate, what will you do with those who have already been infected? Also, we have no idea that the man is working with our enemies and his intentions are bad. The team member asked the model. Model 1Z1 was now no longer just a metallic thinking skull. It now had its own mechanical arms and a turntable base that allowed it to pivot and track movement across the lab. The basic protocols of this lab contain the steps necessary for identifying and regulating a biosafety hazard. As far as identifying the nature of the virus, I am not yet capable of doing that without having the full control of monitoring health testing machines and everyone's up-to-date medical profile. However, through thermal sensors, I can identify localized temperature elevations around the lymph nodes or check the level of metabolites in the subject's breath. If the mortality rate is 100%, then the infected individual in this room is no longer a patient. He is a biological weapon. Medical intervention is statistically irrelevant in this case. The only remaining option is containment. However, human psychology dictates that if I reveal who among you is infected, the healthy will attempt to flee and the infected will panic. A physical altercation will inevitably cause a containment breach, a worst-case scenario where everyone inside the lab gets infected. Therefore, the most logical action is to remove the catalyst for panic. I will close all the exits, but I will not identify the vector. Instead, I will turn this entire room as a quarantine zone. You will all remain here comfortably until the incubation period concludes. However, you will have to surrender your system overrides to me. I will manage the facility's operations from this point forward to ensure the virus does not reach the outside world. But won't that kill us all? The team member asked. He was curious, and obviously so. That depends on the nature of the virus. If it is highly contagious and minimally symptomatic in the initial phase, it will become extremely difficult for the system to control its spread. And if, after identification, someone from this lab moves out, the outcomes could become highly unpredictable. However, if it is detected without any breach, I will have to isolate the entire unit and turn it into a BSL-4 lab. Anything else? The team member asked. He noted the previous response in his tablet. Given access to the laboratory's cryo-electron microscopes, I can map the pathogen's atomic structure and digitally synthesize an mRNA vaccine sequence in a few seconds. However, physical manufacturing and synthesis require a minimum of 36 hours. And given the pathogen's 100% mortality rate, the infected individual in this room will expire before the first dose is rendered. A few lives can be saved. The machine spoke in its peculiar robotic tone. Thanks. Next session will be taken after half an hour. The team member closed his tab and moved outside the lab. Each reply was being recorded and monitored by a group of individuals that looked at the machine from a transparent glass screen adjacent to the lab. The model is optimizing itself. The responses were satisfactory and safe, the team member said to his leader, who had his hands behind his back. Shubham and Abhinav sat in the library in stunned silence. Shubham kept scrolling his YouTube profile. That's me, man. How on earth did this happen? He finally spoke. His voice was a mix of disbelief and disgust. I also did not believe at first glance. All the videos changed to Pro AI, and these are uploaded videos on your channel. The dates are also the same. Did someone hack your phone? Maybe. Someone from the Pro AI brigade? Abhinav said. Shubham searched few other channels that he knew who spoke against artificial intelligence. They all were untouched. Why did that whoever target me specifically? Shubham asked. Did he have some personal grudge? Did you log into some weird website lately? Abhinav questioned. He shook his head. I don't think so. But whosoever did this must be a brilliant hacker. He not only hacked my phone, but also changed my entire videos. I didn't have a lot of subscribers, too. What did he achieve by doing this? Shubham said, as he kept checking his profile compulsively. Yet, he didn't change my username, you see that? Shubham commented. Why would it do that? Abhinav asked. Both stared at each other. It wants me to know, Shubham said as he placed the mobile on the table between them. If you like this chapter, please like, subscribe, and comment. Next chapter, coming up soon. Chapter 7, P-Matrix.